If you are a SaaS founder or an ops leader, you probably have a spreadsheet somewhere that looks like a nightmare. You know the one I'm talking about. It's the pricing calculator, the one that your sales reps are supposed to use every time a customer wants to buy a certain amount of API calls or seats. The rep checks the spreadsheet, looks up the pricing for the first 10,000 API calls, the next 20,000 API calls, and so on, makes the calculation and then puts that data into HubSpot, or even worse, they would put it in an even different quoting tool that you're using. It's slow, it's prone to human error, and quite frankly, you don't need to do it like this anymore. We can run this entire process in HubSpot and make this as easy as 2 minutes to create a quote. Welcome back to HubSpot Excellence. My name is Jasper. I'm a certified HubSpot consultant, and today we're kicking off a 4-part video series about mastering Commerce Hub for SaaS. We are going to cover everything from building out your product library, yes, including tiered pricing, creating your quote templates, and finally also quote reporting. This is video 1 where we build the engine. I'm going to show you how to set up your product library with graduated tiered pricing so that HubSpot actually does the math for you. And since this is a mini course, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon so that you will be notified as soon as the next video in the series comes out. And you definitely do not want to miss the 3rd video where we bring all of this together into a workflow that's under 2 minutes for your sales rep to execute every time that they need to send out that quote. So first of all, we want to go to commerce on the left-hand side here, and then we'll go to products. And this is where we're going to create our tiered product. So for this example today, imagine that we're a SaaS company called DataFlow, and we charge our clients based on the monthly volume of API calls that they need. But we want to incentivize volume. So we use a tiered structure. Tier 1 would be for the first 10,000 API calls, which are 5 cents each. Then Tier 2 would be anything between 10,000 and 50,000 API calls at 4 cents each. And then Tier 3 would be anything above those 50,000 API calls, and those would be at 2 cents each. This is called graduated pricing. It is different from volume pricing, and mixing them up is quite an expensive mistake. So I'm going to show you how to correctly set this up in a product. And by the way, if you want deep dives delivered straight into your inbox, I break down these strategies in my HubSpot Excellence newsletter each week. And there's a link in the description for you to sign up for the HubSpot Excellence newsletter. Now, let's create our product here. We'll go to the top right here and click on Add Products and create a product. And this is where we're going to set up our product that we're going to build. So first of all, we need the name, and I used my good friend Gemini to help me come up with some good names here. So we have our DataFlow stream API usage. The SKU in this case is going to be this one. And then we also want to add a description, because the product description is also what will show up on our quote eventually, which we'll see in the 3rd video in this series. Then for our text category, let's look at software as a service, business use, and then the product type here in this case is service. For the billing frequency, we're working with monthly billing here, and the terms are that this is automatically renewed until canceled. And then next we'll get into our pricing configuration here. So here you can see by default it's gonna start at flat rate pricing. This is not what we want. As we discussed, we want tiered pricing. We will see 3 different options here. So we have volume-based, stair-step, and graduated. So for this, we're quickly going to go to HubSpot's knowledge base so I can show you the different options and an example for each. So for volume-based pricing, as you can see, the unit price applies for all units. So that means if we, for example, have cloud storage at a certain amount of gigabytes per month, the price that you'll pay is for all of those gigabytes. So for example, tier 1, we're paying 10 cents if we're using less than 999 gigabytes. If we're between 1,000 and 4,999, we'll pay 8 cents for every gigabyte used, and above 5,000 will pay 6 cents for every gigabyte used. So that means like 6,000 gigabytes is 6,000 times 6 cents. So far, so good. So as you can see here, 6,000 times 6 cents totals 360 in total. Now, the graduated pricing, which is actually what we will use in our example. In this case, the price per unit is for that specific tier. So for example, in this example here, between 0 and 10,000 emails, we're paying $10 per 1,000 emails. Then anything between 10,000 and 50,000 for that specific part will pay $8 per 1,000. And then for tier 3, anything above 50,000 will pay $6 per 1,000. So then you can see how this is calculated. So for the first 10,000, we're paying $100, then $320 for the next 40,000, and then $60 for the final 10,000, which gives us a total of $480 here. And then last but not least, we have our stair step, and this is used when there's a flat fee for the highest tier reached. So let's look at an example here. If we're in our starter tier, which is up to 10 users, you'll pay $200 a month. Professional tier is up to 25 users, we'll pay $350 a month, and enterprise is up to 50 users, we'll pay $600 a month. So in this example here, if an organization has 22 users, it falls into professional, and they pay $350 a month until they actually reach 50 users, at which point they will pay $600 a month. Or if they will have less users over time, it might be that they drop under 10 users and then they'll pay $200 a month. All right, so those are the different options that we have to work with. Let's build our product here now. As I said, we are going to work with graduated, and we're going to set up 3 different tiers here. So our first tier is going to be up until 10,000 calls. So we'll put in 10,000 for the second tier. So you can see the first tier will stop at a maximum of 9,999. For this first tier, we'll charge 5 cents per API call. Anything in our second tier will charge 4 cents for each API call. And then anything at like 50,000 or more will charge just 2 cents for each API call. The unit cost here, I mean, this is a SaaS product, so it's virtually zero. And this is what our tiers will look like. So now we can create our product, and now we're able to use this on deals that we have. So let me just quickly show you an example of what that looks like on a specific deal. First of all, here you can already see in this list that you can view the different tiers. So we always have easy access to those prices. Now, let's go to our deals here. And here we're just going to pick one of our deals, or actually I'm going to create a new deal. Let me just quickly go to my own profile here, and I'm going to create a new deal, and I'm going to call this API license. This is going to be in the sales pipeline. I'm just going to quickly add a contact record here. Also say that that's the economic buyer. So we'll just quickly create this deal. And then once we're in the deal, now we're going to add some line items to this deal. So we'll click on add here on our line items, go to select from product library, and we're going to work with our DataFlow stream API usage. So we'll add that one. And now you can see that we can choose the quantity here. We can again look at the tiers, and we can also adjust the quantity here as well. So we already have an overview of what the pricing will be. So let's say in our first test, we have 15,000 units. In this case, you can see the calculation here right away. So for those first 9,999, we're going to pay $499.95. And then for the additional 5,001 units that fall in that second tier, we're going to pay $200.04 for that part, for a total of $699.99. Now, if we want to adjust that quantity, and let's say this person wants to buy 70,000 units, you can see how this calculation changes, and how, for example, for those last 20,001 units, it falls in that last tier of 50,000 plus. So this is one way where you can set the units and where you can immediately see how the price breakdown works out. We'll save this right here. And another way to add the quantity for the specific line item is here under quantity, where you can also change it. So let's say we change it to, let's say 60,000 here. If we now want to see the price breakdown, we can come back here and we can see the price breakdown. And that's how easy it is. And then once we save this, it will automatically update the deal amount here as well, which we can do right now. And let's say, for example, so we have the billing frequency here is monthly. So at the top here, we can see our annual contract value. We can see our monthly recurring revenue, and we can also see our annual recurring revenue. Now, if you change the term to 12 months, you will see that everything stays the same because HubSpot already assumes a default there of 1 year to calculate all of these. But now if we would change this to, let's say, 24 months, and maybe we offer a discount for those 24 months, you will see that the annual contract value, or the total contract value better, actually updates to 55,199.28. So you can have all of those calculations as well, and those will also be shown on a deal level as well. So we can go back to the deal. I've not added them right here, but if we go to view all properties and we then go to our MRR, for example, you can see that right here, or we can see our annual recurring, or if I just type in recurring, we'll probably get both of them at the same time. So we easily can see this in the deal itself, but for example, also in the overview where you're looking at your different deals that you have in the pipeline right now. And then definitely make sure to subscribe so you see the third video in this series, where we'll show how all of this comes together in our final proposal for the client. And there you have it. We now have a DataFlow product in our library with sophisticated, graduated pricing built right into the back end. The math is done, but we're not done yet. We need to visually present this to our client to get the deal closed. And that's exactly what we're going to tackle in part 2 of this series. I'm going to take you into the quote editor, which is a bit of a hidden gem in Commerce Hub, and I'll show you exactly how to customize your quote for a SaaS use case like this. So click the video right here and let's make this pricing look good. I'll see you in there. Bye.